Everybody's always asking me, how do you come up with so many trucks? How do you get them so cheap? Well, I don't really look for them anymore. They just kind of find me. People know I like them, and if they hear one for sale, they'll tell them about it. This one, I was actually mowing, and the guy pulled up and said, are you still interested in that truck? Because I've been talking to him about it for about a year, and I've actually owned the truck before, so I knew the truck somewhat, but it had sat for 5 or 6 years. So he pulled up and he said he wanted to sell it, and I said, well, how much do you want for it? And he said 5. And I said, 500 or 5,000? He said 500. I said, I'll take it. So I paid him, I got it. But in doing that, you assume all the risk. Does the transmission work? Is the wiring all lit up? Will it run? Won't it run? Is it locked up? But for $500, I guess I'll take that risk. So here's what the big block C10 is so far. I gave the man $500 for it and assumed all the risk, and it worked out well. It's kind of a gamble, but it is what it is. Tag and title was $148. Tune up about $100. Carb and the adapter was somewhere around $250. Like I said, always check Jegs and Summit and Holley. Check their website for their sale or their refurb stuff, because man, it works great and you can save a lot of money. I put tires on here. I haven't done tires yet. I robbed tires off another truck because I was sick and tired of airing them up all the time. So, but you ought to be able to put a pretty good set of tires on here for $600. So running and driving and legal, less than $1,600. Now the inside still stinks like mouse, and I know I got wiring issues I got to deal with, but I always feel like if you can get them running and driving and kind of sort of enjoy it, it keeps you interested and you can kind of fix stuff. Like, I wanted to order carpet, but the good carpet and all that is about $300. Well, I decided I'd invest that money in a carburetor and get it running instead. So eventually I'll do something on the inside. So for less than $1,600. The other question people always say, how do you insure all that stuff? Well, Hagerty Insurance has been really good to me on the agreed value, and on this particular one the agreed value is $4,000, and it's less than $100 a year, so it's cheap. So if you're not buying one because you're worried about insurance, that's not it. It's cheap. So my other advice is don't blow it apart, tear it into 1,000 pieces and expect to make it enjoyable to work on. My philosophy is get it running and enjoy it, and fix a little as you go. So with all that being said, this truck is running, driving, legal for less than $1,600. Now would I take off and go all over the world? Probably not, but I can sure run around and enjoy it. My other thing is when you go to buy something, it's generally you get the best price if you buy it before they think about selling it. Because if they go and they Barrett Jackson and they Google and they do all that stuff, they're liable to come up with some wild price that it's worth. So generally it's better to find it before they actually think about selling it and believe all the social media stuff of what they're worth. Another thing, make sure that it has a title, or a title can be acquired without too much trouble. State of Texas used to be easy to get a title, but the last few you actually have to get a photo ID of the previous owner, and then they mail it to him, and then you got to get it. So it's a pain in the butt. So try to make sure you got some form of title. Always have cash ready. If you're looking, have it ready, because people change their mind a lot. They get cold feet, so it's better to do it while they're interested in selling it. Whenever I buy one, it's as is. I assume all the risk, all the liability. I don't call them back complaining, saying this didn't work, that didn't work, well you didn't tell me about this. It's not the way I buy them. I just say, here's your money. I'm not going to give you a premium price, but you're not going to hear me complain. So that's the good thing there. And when you go to look at a truck or a car or whatever you're looking at it, don't go around pointing out all that's wrong with it and all the bad stuff, because that really ticks people off. Always find good in it. Develop, a good conversation with them about it. Be respectful with it, because they like their car, especially if you're the one that initiated if they want to sell it. Because, if you go to putting it down, well, that's their car. Then it's just not respectful. So always be complimentary of their car, truck, and it's a lot easier to do the deal. Whether you buy the truck or not, always thank them and, let them know that you appreciate it. Because you never know, like I said, when they'll show up a year later and say, hey, you still interested in that truck? So treat everybody with respect and don't put their truck down. That's the worst thing you can do, is go up and just start nailing all the stuff that's wrong with it. Because if somebody does that with one of mine, I generally get ticked, and I don't care if I sell it or not. The other thing that kind of helps, and the guy on Haggerty Barn Finds does it too, but it never hurts. If you're looking for a square body Chevrolet, it never hurts to pull up to ask about one, driving one, because I know you're interested, and a lot of people will make you a better deal if they think you're not the guy that's trying to just buy it cheap and make a killing selling it somewhere else. I think that's why people come to me about them. They know I love them, I drive them, I enjoy them, and I think they like to see them back on the road. So that's my advice. But like I said, it's worked for me. It's really worked too good because I have too many. But anyway, that's kind of where I go on that. So there are trucks out there. You just got to find them, beat the bushes, and be willing to take the risk and do the work yourself. If you buy something and got to take it to a mechanic for everything to get it fixed, you're probably wasting your time and money. I don't golf or fish or any of that. Working on these old trucks is my hobby. I enjoy it, so that's what I do. But anyway, that's what works for me, and we appreciate y'all.